When's the best time during the year to do a Roth conversion? Is it right away? Is it the end of the year? I've got that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, so just looking at statistics, not trying to predict the future. There's no crystal ball. Looking at statistics, the stock market is positive about 75% of the time. That means 3 out of every 4 years the stock market's positive. Well, if you're using a Roth, I mean, obviously if you're investing, you want to invest as early as possible, and there's benefits for dollar cost averaging, and for most people that aligns with cash flow. And so anyway, but I digress. If you're funding a Roth, the tax benefit is on the growth. Okay, the growth is not only tax deferred, but it comes out tax free once you turn age 59 and a half and you've had a Roth for at least 5 years. So therefore, if you've got the cash to make, and it makes sense for you to be funding a Roth IRA, do it as soon as possible. At the beginning of the year, in January, we've got clients that say, yeah, every year I want to make the Roth contribution right away in January. Simply, they're just playing the odds, and I resist the idea that Wall Street is like the casino. It's not. But when you look at the odds, 75% of all years are positive in the market. Therefore, you contributing to your Roth earlier in the year gives you more potential appreciation and tax-free growth. So those are Roth contributions. What about Roth conversions? The same logic would apply, right? That if 3 out of every 4 years are positive, and the shifting dollars into the Roth it makes so much sense in your financial life that you should be shifting pre-tax dollars from traditional into Roth, paying the tax in that year, then logic would say do that as soon as possible as well, right? Well, not so fast. In 2018, a very, very important law changed. Most people are not aware of it, and it's not because most people have been thinking that this law never changed. No. It was such a unique law, a unique rule. Most people never knew it existed, and therefore right now they don't miss it. Well, you should. And this is the idea of a Roth recharacterization. Yeah, you can't even spell that. They'll tell you, Google will say that it's spell check. A Roth recharacterization, that's where you undo some of the conversion. The planning up until this point was, all right, we think it makes sense based on your financial situation to convert 50 grand, okay? But we don't have our pencil sharpened there. That makes sense. So let's do that as early in the year as possible. Cut a thick slice, and then when we do the taxes, when we do your taxes in the spring, we'll take a look. We'll see how it came out, and if we should have only converted 40 grand or 45 grand, then we'll recharacterize some of that Roth conversion, put it back in your IRA. Sounds almost too good to be true. Well, guys, today it is. You can't do it. Starting 1/1 of 2018, they stopped a recharacterization of a Roth conversion. Therefore, it's now more important that you get precise, that you sharpen that pencil, and you don't cut a thick slice, you cut an appropriate slice. Therefore, how it relates to this question, is there an ideal timing? Is there a better time to do a Roth conversion during the year? Well, the timing, instead of, right as soon as you possibly can at the beginning of the year, or right at the end of the year, the timing instead deals with as soon as you feel confident in, as soon as you are confident in, here's the exact income amount that I'm going to have for this year. As soon as you have confidence in the amount of income you're going to have, what your tax picture is going to look like, that's when I would give you the green light to do your Roth conversion. Some people, that could be right away, early in the year. For many people, though, that means later in the year or in the fall. 2 examples. First is I'm working with a retired couple. They've been retired for a few years. They have a very modest lifestyle. They draw Social Security, and then they draw about $1,000 a month out of their IRA. Okay, and so very, very modest level of income, and therefore, based on that situation, they're very little taxed. What this strategy is, let's do a Roth conversion, even though in that scenario, they might pay no tax or be a little bit in the 10% tax bracket. Let's do a Roth conversion up to the top of the 12% tax bracket, because based on their situation out there in the future, when they're forced to draw more out of their IRA, RMD, then that will push them into a different tax bracket and cause more of their Social Security to be taxable. So we're doing some Roth conversion each year. Well, in their situation, it's essentially at the beginning of the year, okay, guys, do you plan on drawing more out of your retirement accounts this year? Is there anything big that you can anticipate? And I would trust them. They would say in the years where they say, no, not really. It's, I don't see anything unique. And plus, we've got some cash on hand. So if something did come up, we wouldn't need to draw more out of the IRA. Well, there you go. Let's do a $30,000 Roth conversion right now at the beginning of the year, and with the expectation that, well, 3 out of 4 years in the stock market's positive, and we could have a little bit more growth by doing the Roth conversion early in the year. Now that's a unique one, okay? Most people, it makes sense for them to do the Roth conversion later in the year because they're not as sure of their retirement income. Do example number 2, and this is very, very common, okay? Also, retired couple, but this one semi-retired, she's still working part-time. So there is some income, and she's not 100% sure what her hours will be and what the demand will be, how much she'll want to work and how much they'll need her to work. In addition to that, they're also young retired, so they travel around a lot. And that could mean, well, we're going to draw a little bit more out of the IRA, or no, we don't need to draw as much out of the IRA. And there's some variation in choice. And that's great. Part of financial planning is giving you as much choice as possible. But in January or February, we don't know. We don't know, and we could make an assumption. However, reality might turn out different, and I would hate to say, find out in July, you guys want to take that trip this year? You're going to need to put it on a credit card or delay it because you already did that Roth conversion, and unless you want to draw more dollars out and put yourself into an even higher tax bracket, into the next tax bracket, guys, I wouldn't do it this year. No, they've got choice, and financially they can afford to do it. So instead, we wait to do our Roth conversion, in most cases, till November, maybe December, because we've taken a look, we've held a couple of meetings. That second meeting we usually have end of October, early November, where we've been able to see how the year has unfolded, and we've got a look at, well, what do we think? How do we think the year is going to finish? Let's do that tax projection and forecast what your tax return is going to look like and see just how much Roth conversion we should do, or if this is a year that we should skip the Roth conversion. Therefore, is there a better time of year to do a Roth conversion? Well, right away, if you know how much your income is going to be. So therefore, the timing for the best time to do a Roth conversion is as soon as you have confidence in the amount of income you're going to have for that year and what your tax picture is going to look like. For most people, that's not going to happen until the fourth quarter. Either way, you're not going to know unless you're doing ongoing tax planning, what we call using a tax projection, because you can't do a Roth conversion in the spring and have it influence last year. Had that question recently as well. Roth conversions need to happen within the calendar year in order for it to land on that tax return. So it requires forethought. It requires being proactive. It requires a tax projection, looking at all pieces of income, putting it onto a mock tax return and saying, well, what's it look like? Is there any room for you to do a Roth conversion, invite some income into this year to pay tax at these low rates so that these dollars can grow tax-free for the rest of your life? That's the exact work of your CFP, doing those strategies, looking at your tax picture proactively with you each and every year to see if strategies like the Roth conversion make sense, and identifying the appropriate timing for it as well. If your financial advisor is not doing comprehensive financial planning, if they're not a CFP, they're not doing tax planning, you need to work with one that is. You can find one on my team. You can find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.